So we're back again. This is day 4 of guitar practice. I am not doing daily videos. Sometimes stuff comes up and I can't get to everything every day. And you know what? That's okay. It should be okay with you too. Like, I get you have to do it every day. Don't break the chain, Jerry Seinfeld thing. But sometimes we have to do stuff and it's okay. I would rather not worry about jumping off the bandwagon. For me, I can't do everything every day. So when I can do it, I'm going to do it and I'm post a video for you guys. And when I can't, you know what, that's okay. Y'all can just wait till next time. So comments from the last couple of days. Somebody said, apologize if I don't remember who commented what. One of the comments was, I keep falling down. I'm like super low. So try keep it up higher so I can actually see it without craning my neck over. Somebody else said, try resting the guitar on your fretting leg, same side as your fretting hand. And I just did that and oh my gosh, it feels so much better. I still don't feel like I can see where my fingers are. And somebody had mentioned, like, are you looking at the fret marks? And they're very faint on this instrument. It's a Yamaha FG 200 made in Taiwan. So my neighbor Charlie says that he thinks it was one of the ones that Yamaha made in the 70s with something. I'll have to ask him tonight at neighborhood guitar night. We have a neighborhood guitar group. It's really cool. They get together every couple weeks and play a bunch of songs and it's just fun. I usually go just for the singing. Sometimes I play cajon. Some of you know I'm a classically trained percussionist and I sing. So they selfishly want me to come and just sing all the songs that they can't sing high enough for. And so I happily oblige. We're going to start with something easy today. I'm just going to try and do the G to D like I had been the other day with the new, hey, that's way less buzzy than it had been. So I'm a fan. Now, can I put this together? And 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I keep forgetting to wrap my thumb around and grab that mute on the low E string. The 6th string. Good job, me. 2 and 3, 4. Okay, so I'm ready for like I don't know. Yeah, not quite. I spoke too soon. I'm ready for any song that is a 1/5 song. Of course I can't think of any off the top of my head, but this, what is happening? Okay. Yay. Okay, so I keep like having my third finger, my ring finger, go to the wrong string on this chord. So let's see if I can do that 4 times in a row and stay in time. And 2 and I was a little late on the middle finger, but I got the 4th finger, 3rd finger, whatever. Numbers. Okay, so let's review that. This is another good thing to do when you're practicing. Set yourself a very, very short-term goal and analyze it. Don't beat yourself up if you don't get it, but analyze it. That's more important. So I just said I'm going to try and do this 4 times in a row. I did it 4 times in a row, but one of the times my middle finger didn't make the transfer, and another time I was just a little bit late. With, I think the 3rd time my middle finger didn't make it, and the last time I was a little bit late with everything like feeling solid. So 2 things I could do. I could do it again. This is like the beat your head against the wall or, hammer against the same wall, whatever, that metaphor that I was talking about the other day. I could try and do it again at the same tempo. I don't have a metronome on right now, but I was here. This is, so maybe it's like 60. That's another good thing to know, like be able to grab tempos out of thin air. I'm going to go on a tangent. This is what I do. We had to do this in percussion, especially knowing exactly the right tempo, like the right feel for something to be able to just start playing at the correct tempo. Because if you play one song at, like say you're going to play 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, Paul Simon. That, if you start playing that groove, that's way too slow. Like it's the wrong tempo. To be able to pull tempos out of thin air, know what an iconic song's tempo is. I made myself a chart. everybody's chart is going to be different. Okay. Your chart's going to be different than my chart, than my husband's chart, than my brother's chart, than my dad's chart. And they're all going to be different because the songs that you know by heart without having to think about them and like, oh, well, is it a little bit faster? Is it a little bit slower? Like, no, you have to know these songs like off the top of your head. Then you go to one of these run tempo websites. It's like runtempo.com. What you're going to do is go through that list and you're going to pick several tempos over a varying range, probably varying between 60 beats a minute to, I would say, up to 200 beats a minute. But you can kind of cheat some of these by doubling the tempo, because twice 60 is 120 and 3 times 60 is 180. So if you need something that's 180 and you don't have a song in the top of your head that is 180, just do triplets at 60. So whatever your song is at 60, think of that song and do triplets. If you don't know how to do triplets, we'll talk some other time. But you pick your song. Let me think. Pour Some Sugar on Me, just the first one that comes to my head, is 92. Pour some sugar on me. So if you need 92 or 184, think of that song. But if that's not your song that you pour out of your head, that you pull out of your head without having to think about it, pick a different song off that list of, and it's like in the range of those tempos. Like it's going to be, there's a bunch of songs that have different tempos that you're going to be able to pull out of. Make yourself a chart, print out that chart and like practice from that chart of like, okay, what is this tempo? Pull out the tempo and tap tempo on your metronome. Tap tempo and test yourself. Like, okay, Viva La Vida, Coldplay, 144. Dun, 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 dun. That's how you pull tempos out of thin air without having to like check your metronome. And also another advantage to pulling tempos from your head and out of thin air without checking a metronome is that there's usually already a groove, like a feel in that song that's in your body, that's in your soul, that's in your psyche, that you know that you will be able to already be grooving at whatever that tempo is. And if you want to, go check the metronome just to make sure that you're not excited or like a little bit mellow that day, because sometimes that can happen too. It's like your palate's a little bit salty or your palate's a little bit sweet. There's a chef one time, I'm way on a tangent. There's a chef one time that I was listening to an interview, and he had his staff all taste prepackaged American cheese before their shift every day. And they're like, does it taste salty? Does it taste sweet to you? The cheese is the same, but your taste buds are different. So sometimes you're a little bit like jazzed up, and every tempo that you want to play is a little bit high. So you're going to be like, what actually is 144 is actually going to feel like 132 to you. So anyway, that was a big tangent. Sorry. But hopefully that helps some people. All right. So back to what I was doing. When you are practicing something, give yourself a very short-term goal. I'm going to do this 4 times in a row and see. The goal is to do it 4 times in a row perfectly. But if you don't do it perfectly, even if you do it perfectly, go back and analyze it anyway. This is how you learn fast, okay? Let's see. I forgot what tempo I said I was doing. It was somewhere around here. We can go back and check that. And I was doing like 2 beats or 3 beats, 3 strokes, drums, and that's a little buzzy. Wrong string that time. Try and memorize what that feels like. And here's time number 4. Okay, cool. So it was a little messy. I got one of my third guitar finger. I'm going to call it that from now on. 4th piano finger. I'm going to call it third guitar finger. Kind of missed the string for a second. So, but that was a repetition. That was a repetition. So I'm going to try it one more time and see what happens. No, I'm not just going to see what happens. I'm actually going to try and apply what I just did. I'm going to try and make sure that this finger is here because it keeps undershooting. Okay, so I'm going to try it again. Same tempo, and I have a full beat of rest in between. The goal eventually is to be able to do 8th notes. 3, 4. That did not happen well, but so I'm not there yet. I can do 3 strums on a quarter note and no, I can't. Not today. Not right now. Everything was undershot. And And that was a good one. And I'm gonna go for one more. And shouldn't have gone for that last one. Okay, so that's the best that's feeling so far. I think that's enough of that chord progression for now. And we're gonna go to my nemesis, my current nemesis. I was thinking about this earlier as related to, by the way, as an aside, this like resting on my left leg, my fretting leg hand feels way better. So thank you, whoever said that. I was thinking about hand position, elbow position, wrist, whatever, and how it relates to, stay with me now, weightlifting. Some of you know, hey, it's not terrible. Hey, that's not bad. Maybe it's just me thinking about, I spoke too soon. Some of you may know that I lift weights. I've done CrossFit style workouts for, I don't know, since 2011. So that's, oh my God, that's 14 years now. And when I first started lifting, I had no idea what I was doing. I was a reformed runner and a yoga person, and I caught the CrossFit bug and have been doing some version of it ever since. And I like it. Some people like it, some people don't. And I don't care if you don't like it. I'm still going to use some principles from that. When you're doing a front squat, which is the barbell is on, look, I've got this strap and it's staying there. It's great. Okay. The barbell is on, resting on your shoulders. You should be able to just like let your hands go if you're doing it right. And some people have really long arms. Some people have short arms. Some people have wide shoulders, and some people have kind of narrow ones compared to their arm length. And so it depends on basically like all of the ratios of your anatomy, like where you can put your hands in relationship to the bar and what feels comfortable with holding the bar. You have to play around with it depending on your anatomy and depending on how flexible you are. It feels like the same thing for guitar. There are general principles, like you want the right part of your finger on the right part of the string holding down with not too much tension, right? But somebody who has a really long thumb is going to feel different than somebody who has, you know, a shorter thumb or longer arms or anything. And it works the same for any instrument that you're going to play, anything that you're going to do. You have to like play around and figure out what feels right and like what actually works for you. So that's a big tangent that I went on, but that's kind of the whole point of this series. So glad you're with me still. Okay. See, I'm still having a really hard time getting my guitar third finger closer to the fret so it doesn't buzz too much. Well, that's not bad. It's not terrible. And then when I move it, trying not to move I am so not as close to the G, D progression for the C, A minor progression. And some of you have been commenting like, yep, I'm having like PTSD from my guitar lessons learning C to A. So I'm in the club now, I guess. Oh, that sounds really good. What am I doing? Okay, I don't know if this is like a good thing or a bad thing, but my pinky is like, my pinky nail is like actually behind the neck of the guitar. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but it sounds really good. And it doesn't feel like super extra tension. So maybe that's, nope, maybe that's not a good idea because I just muted the string. Anyway, the A minor feels good and sounds pretty good. This, holding the guitar, whoever said to hold it on the other leg, thank you for that. And that may be very obvious for some people, but it wasn't to me. So I'm still not loving this C. There we go. So I'm still not ready to do like the 4 in a row challenge. I'm just kind of trying to go back and forth and like get a feel for this chord. Every time now that I've been doing the A minor, it's still my favorite chord. That's not my favorite chord. E minor is the easiest, I think. Always want to do the House of the Rising Sun when I hear that one. You know, like certain chords, the voicings of certain chords call certain songs to mind. Okay. I'm going to try. Nope. I was going to try not to move my thumb to open up my hand to the C. But right now, I don't feel like I can. And I don't know if that's a fault. I can keep my thumb down from C to A minor. But I got to figure out how to do that. I'm going to ask the guys at Guitar Night tonight. See if any of them have advice, or if they give me you just got to spend more time on it. Which may be the answer. Which is annoying, but actually, no, it's not that annoying. It's just I would like a different answer. I'm almost to the 4 in a row challenge. Here's 3. That was a little slow though, and those are a little muted. I put too much pressure on myself. That's another thing, like when you're practicing, that I've learned, like if you try and put too much pressure on yourself to get something right, to do something perfectly right, without missing a note or whatever, and you're not ready for that, like if you're ready for it, cool, go for it. But if you're not ready for it and you keep just trying to do that, like you're just going to create more and more tension, that tension of like being annoyed with yourself, or worse, mad at yourself, or any other like bad feelings about not being able to do something. That's going to build tension in you, and you're going to hold that tension, and it's going to make it worse. You have to really figure out what the proximal zone of development for, like, what is like just above what you can do as a goal. Because right now, doing it 4 times in a row at that tempo, I couldn't do it. That was beyond, and it was creating too much tension. So I needed to just stick with what I had said I was going to do, which is just go back and forth and go back and forth. There's no harm in like testing yourself every once in a while, though. And sometimes that kind of helps you figure out what your proximal zone of development is. Because right now, okay, I keep feeling that top E string keeps buzzing. I'm just going to keep trying to do this a few more times and then call it a day. And trying to stay relaxed. Forgot to mute. Okay. It's so satisfying when that one chord like feels okay and sounds okay too. It's like a sense of relief. This is not a sense of relief. I wonder what would happen if seems like my thumb wants to just land on that right in front of the 2nd fret. So like I was talking about, like the mechanics of like figuring out where your hands, where your thumb goes, and like the angle where you put your wrist and your elbow, everything, so that you can maintain the proper verticalness of fingers. No. Wow, this is real hard still. And then like trying to memorize that feeling and just do it over and over and over and over again. Maybe after I've been practicing guitar for 14 years, like I've been doing CrossFit, I can just do this. Of course, that's the goal. That's what you practice, right? Thanks. Or percussion for however many years, or singing since I can remember. Maybe it will, maybe it'll just start to sink in. And yes, I know. I'm gonna just spend some more time on it. Yes, thank you. I know, of course. Yeah. Yes, so repetition, myelination. Go check out my videos on myelination. The more times you do it, the more insulate a white matter pathway to your muscles to actually execute the movement. So yes, when I'm like complaining that people are just spend more time on it, yes, I know you spend more time. Yes, okay. I guess I'm right. You're right. We're all right. That's what I'm doing. I'm spending more time for your viewing entertainment. It feels really dull. Yeah, so I'm hitting those open strings. But okay, we're gonna call that a day. Um, I hope you guys enjoyed the adventures of G to D and C to A minor for the like fourth time. Maybe we'll add something different next time.